All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of my podcast, Unleashed. And this is actually my first video podcast, which I'll be doing a lot more. And we actually have a special guest today, which I'm really excited to talk to you because this guy is amazing. He's a very young entrepreneur. He's got a lot of things going on. He's a really busy person. So, would you like to introduce yourself?
My name's Pratik Gandhi. People call me Prad. So I am 26 years old. I run an entertainment business from party buses to DJs. Now I run a full swing real estate firm here in Houston, Texas. Just a little background. I started my first business adventure at the age of 12. I started DJing at the age of 12, and that's what kind of got me into the entrepreneur mindset. And everyone always questions me, like, how did you do that at age 12? Pretty much just had a vision and I went for it. So before I get into the kind of details, I want to kind of give you a timeline of how I got here. So at age 12, like I said, I started DJing. My neighbor called me over for his birthday party, and I had no experience in DJing. He just called me. He knew I was good with some equipment, like electronic equipment. So I came over there with just a laptop, and I connected to his like stereo speakers and just played on music, just soundtracks, like literally off the iTunes playlist. And I was just playing good tracks, and they all enjoyed it. They loved my selection, and paid me $75 for like 4 hours.
Hmm.
At that, right now that's not much money, but at that time as a 12-year-old, I was like, oh dang, this is
Right,
my
yeah.
first pay. It was awesome. And it was funny, after I left his party, the week later, I got another neighbor call me for the same exact thing. So I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And he was like, I'll pay you $100. Come play music. I love the same exact selection you played at the other neighbor's party. And I did that, and I was like, man, I gotta figure out what this is. What type of business is this? And I looked it up, and I was like, disc jockey, and there's actually a whole full swedge business for this. And so I looked into it more, see what equipment I would need. And of course, I didn't have much money. I had like a couple $100s I made from the gigs that I did the past weekend. So I bought my first piece of turntables. It's like a beginner's version, like it's like probably like by 3 feet by 3 feet turntables. And I just bought that and started messing with it, understand how to mix songs on a very basic level. So I started doing more house parties. I would just take my laptop and my new turntables and go to different house parties, and made 100, $200 here and there, which was still pretty good money at that time. But I really wanted to go big. Like, I've always been in that mindset of either go big or go home. So I was like, I gotta figure out how I can buy all the equipment I need. I want my own like speakers, lighting, like just be a professional DJ. And the first thing I did was go up to my dad. I was like, Dad, like, I need a loan. And he was like, how much you need? $5, $10? I'm like, no, I need like $10,000 to start this thing off. And he just started laughing, and he was like, why don't you just focus on school, and then we'll figure that out in a few years. So I kept bugging him for weeks, and he kept saying, no, no, not right now. And then after showing him a few weeks that I was actually going to these house parties, showing him the income I was bringing in, and showing him a full swing business plan about what I plan to do with the money, what equipment I'm buying. Uh, he was like, all right, let's go to Guitar Center. That's the place where you buy all the equipment. And let's check it out. So I took him there, and I showed him, like, I told him to visualize all his equipment, him hiring me as a DJ, and seeing if I can produce the same as a professional DJ. So he was like, no, I believe in you. Of course your dad's going to believe in you. But so then pretty much I pulled an emotional game. I was like, hey, Dad, like, really, just trust me. I'm your son. Just trust me. And my dad was like, all right. Then my dad, he's the same mindset. He's like, all right, we're going to do this. We're going to do this right. He gave me a $20,000 loan, and he let me buy literally everything I needed to start this professional DJ business. And then from there, we bought all the equipment, and I started getting booked. Like every weekend I was DJing for weddings, birthday parties. People loved the music selection. They loved the quality of equipment I had. Like everything was perfect. So I was like, man, I'm getting overbooked now. So I started hiring other DJs to kind of get my overflow of events to, so I can kind of get a cut, a cut with their pay. So I was making more income, and then I added more services. So I was doing well the first year or two. I was bringing in money, and I was like, all right, I want to do more. So then I looked up party buses. That was like the next thing in entertainment. It's like a mobile transportation, kind of like a club, but you're in a party bus, right?
Mhm.
So we looked into party buses, and at this time I had my own money saved. I paid off my dad already in the first 2 years, so he was happy about that. So I had some money saved and started looking at party buses, and I found one party bus for $10,000. I was like, man, this is actually pretty cheap. And I went for it, bought it with two other friends that went in with me, and the first event day the bus broke down. Obviously found a bus for $10,000.
Yeah.
So it had a lot of issues. So we had to literally take it to the mechanic shop like 30 times. And man, I was exhausted taking it to the mechanic shop, getting it fixed, and it broke down again. So my partners decided to kind of sell the bus and get out of that business. And I did. Luckily, we didn't take a huge loss. I mean, we bought it for $10,000. What we lost like some money in the mechanic shop, but outside of that, I wasn't really satisfied. I was like, I'm not going to give up because I saw the clientele that was still coming to us to book the bus. It's just we didn't have a quality bus. So I didn't give up. I started researching for more buses and nicer buses. And I flew all the way to San Diego, California. And I found a beautiful 20-passenger bus. I had nice lights, and it was a perfect marketing material to get your clients on that. So I flew out there and bought the bus, transported it to Houston, and got the business started again. And I'm telling you, that was the best move I ever made. Since then, I turned that one bus into producing a six-figure income itself. So just from that one bus, I started scaling to two more buses, and ever since then, it's still running today. So that's probably one of my proudest moments, that I didn't give up, and I just kept pushing. Just like how I kept pushing my dad to give me the loan the first time around. I kept pushing till the party bus business worked, and I wasn't done yet. I was still running the entertainment. I threw a lot of parties, hosted events, opened a full swing entertainment company with DJs, event coordinators. We had dancers. We had the full swing of services for the clients to choose from. So I did that throughout high school, and then got into real estate. I started looking into becoming an agent, and that was the first step of me creating a legacy or wealth creation for me. It wasn't just being an agent, it was just that vision that I created. I've always loved homes. Everyone needs a roof over their head. So I was like, this would be perfect. I can be an agent, still market myself as an entertainer and sell homes. So I got my license, joined a team where I met my business partners. Later I bought into the company, and we started a full swing investment company. So after like a year of being an agent, I didn't like it so much because it's a lot of cold calling involved, which is a very key component of real estate. You got to go through all that to understand the business. So I became an agent, was an agent for a year, and then I was like, all right, I'm more interested in the investing side. How do we build these homes? How do we flip homes? So me and my partner started a investment company, and that investment company, we started flipping houses. We started acquiring apartment complexes, started building homes, pretty much this full swing. And we started flipping homes, and after the first house, obviously I was out of capital. Like, we put literally everything we had in the first house, and we learned a lot through construction itself. One thing about real estate is no construction. If you don't know construction, you will get burned in real estate. So After the first flip, I learned a lot of lessons. I made mistakes through, hiring the wrong people. So I was pretty much out of money after the first deal. I was like, how do I scale this business? And then I started looking up. There's this program called Bigger Pockets. Very, very good educational platform. They taught me a lot about how to find the right deal, how to get the capital needed, which is a key component. Like raising capital is probably the best thing I've ever learned. And I just learned that through my own connections. Like just from being in the entertainment field, I was able to create a lot of different connections. And because of that, I was able to bring that to real estate. And like I said, raising capital is key component. My first deal, I raised a couple $100,000 for another flip that I was working on, and that one really successful because all the mistakes I made on my first flip, I was able to correct those for my second flip, and so on. So my investors were really happy. First few deals, I didn't really try to take a cut. I'm trying to push as much as profit towards my investors so they can get a good track record with me. And they decided to do another one and another one after that. And then they started referring other friends, families. So people were giving me money. Even I didn't even have to call up people, and they were like calling me like, "You have any opportunities?" So I started raising a whole bunch of money, and the first year we, started flipping houses. I even got into my first new construction project. Started building homes, and then after that, the next year I started raising 10x what I raised the first year. I'm talking about in the millions. So I was starting to build homes all over Houston. I built over 100 homes so far in the Houston area. I've acquired multiple apartment complexes. So raising capital was just like a second nature to me. Like this past year itself, I raised $15 million by myself for doing these projects. Like no money out of my own pocket, 100% OPM. OPM means other people's money.
Right.
So I started leveraging my connections from my previous businesses to bring them here, and I kept pushing through, even though like I'm not showing the every little detail what happened. I had a lot of pushback. I had a pushback on investors. I had pushback on deals, but I didn't stop. One thing that kept me driving was the vision I had. I saw myself in 5, 10 years at a certain spot, and I kept going. And I think that's number one thing I've learned from my experience through real estate and entertainment is that if one thing doesn't work, find out why it didn't work and fix it. There's a answer to all problems, and that's what I believe in, and that's what I call myself. I just call myself a problem solver. Even in construction, real estate, or entertainment, there's always an issue and you just got to solve it. And that's every day. Live by that, and you'll be more positive. You're not going to crash down if something doesn't work out. There's always going to be a situation where something doesn't work out, but you got to just be in the mindset where, look, it's another problem, I can solve this, and keep going. And that's how I was able to kind of produce so much in a short period of time. Like I'm 26, I have about $40 million in projects right now. I just hit about 80 units in rentals, about an 80 unit rental portfolio. We're gonna hit about 100 units by the end of the year, and I'm looking to get to 1,000 units by in the next 24 months. So that's my goals. Keep your goals big. Always keep them big, even if you can't hit them every time. But reevaluate, but keep big goals. That's an important key factor right there, and just keeping pushing yourself and getting to those goals. Um, that's pretty much a good timeline of my history. So I know there's a lot of detail. There's a lot of problems I face, like in terms of some people didn't believe me because of my age, like especially when I was like 18 to 20 years old. When I was entering real estate, a lot of people were like, "Oh, you're so young, you don't know." It's all about knowledge. If you know what you're talking about, no matter what your age is or what situation you're in, your knowledge will be your key fortune, and that'll close a deal for anything. So always put your effort in, I guess, educating yourself on whatever business or whatever you're proposing to anyone.
Mhm.
So
So you said a lot of good things in there. So I
Yeah,
wanted to kind
yeah,
of go back and break it down a little bit.
yeah,
So when you were in your DJ business,
yeah,
did you have anybody giving you business tips, or was it just you learning on your own? And you were 12, you said you started, right?
yeah. 12 years old.
Okay, so when you went to go look at that party bus, how old were you when you first bought your
So
first party
I was like 15 years old when I got
15?
got to buying the party bus. Yeah.
Okay, and so would you say you were a natural business person, or was it kind of like you were just kind of started off with an idea, and then that idea grew, and then you kind of just started growing from there, or what was the progress like as a business mindset?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I wasn't a very natural business person, but I would say I just never stopped. I was obsessed with the idea and just kept going with it. You know, I didn't stop till I figured it out or I was dead broke. I just kept going. I just kept going till I figured it out. So that was my key point.
Yeah, okay. So you just kind of learned everything on your own just by having an idea, going through it,
Experience.
learning from it. Damn, man. So
Yeah,
no
learning from
business
experience.
advice, no nothing, no
No, like I didn't believe in mentorship. I wish I did.
mm,
Mentorship is very important, especially now. I have multiple mentors kind of helping me out. But if I knew that back then, that would have been a different situation. But of course, we learn from experience. But I would always let all the younger generations know, like, get help. You know, there's nothing wrong in getting help and asking questions. The more questions you ask, the better it will be for you.
mhm. So real quick, because before we continue on,
Yeah.
we were talking a little bit before, and I said that one of the main reasons why I wanted to do this episode with you was because we weren't taught in school, obviously, how to do
Mhm.
business, how to do investing, how to make money, how to grow it, all this type of stuff. So just a little bit of practical for people who, let's say they're, the typical 9 to 5, they're employees, nothing's wrong with that. But
Yeah.
let's say they're like, obviously, a lot of people just like their job and
Yeah.
they don't know how else to go. They don't know about business. They don't know how to invest, how to start. So just a little bit of basic. What is investing and what makes a good investor?
So investing, there's different types of investing, right? You could be a passive investor, you could be an active investor. Passive investor, you could be like working a 9 to 5 job and be a passive investor. And pretty much what makes you a good passive investor, I would say, is doing your due diligence, making sure that the investment you're putting into, like whatever operator you would be hiring, is knowledgeable, has a good track record, good
Mhm,
experience, and just his morals and principles are good that match up with you because you're kind of getting married to the person, especially when you lend money out. You want to make sure you're lending the money to the correct person because you're pretty much creating a marriage between y'all. As an active investor, like I would be counted as an active investor since I raised capital and I'm the operator as well. For me, it is very important communication. To be a good investor, you want to communicate with your investors at all times, let them know what's going on, especially if you're raising capital. If you're just doing with your own money, it's not I guess it's easier on yourself. You don't have to worry about it, but at the same time, you can't scale as big without investors or the option of having more capital on hand.
mhm,
So being a active investor is very important to analyze a deal, make sure, check your due diligence, and also check the due diligence on the investor. Make sure he's a accredited investor. You want to make sure he's a investor you want to work with because I mean everyone has money. There's a lot of money out there, but you don't want to work with every single person because sometimes it might not match up with some of the principles y'all have or y'all think differently. So it's just like kind of when you're getting into a marriage, like you want to make sure you have that connection because you'll go through a lot of ups and downs. There could be delays in projects. There could be different projections that come into play. A lot of different factors could come in play. So you want to make sure that you're in it together and they both parties understand each other. And that's how like I've been very fortunate. Like all my projects have been like 100%. I've never been in a situation I was not able to pay someone back. I made everyone pretty good returns overall in all my years of investing. So that was, I was very fortunate about that. But I'm not saying that it always is like that. There's scenarios where you have delays, so you want to make sure you're communicating everything to your investor. And those are the key elements, like on a basic level. Obviously, there's a lot of detail into analyzing a deal, why a deal is good and why a deal is bad. Understanding that is the most important thing. So I would put most of my attention on raising capital and deals. Those are the two factors. And when you have the deal, you automatically have the capital. Like I said, there's so much money out there. Like if you're a good person and you propose the best deal, money will just come walking up to you.
Mm. So let's get some practical advice for business. So let's
Mhm.
say someone wants to start a business. They have an idea, they have, something they want to work on, some project or something like that. What are
Uh-huh.
some things you would give the average person who is kind of like, I don't know if I should start the business just yet, like I don't know, I'm too scared. What about this? What about that? What are some things you wish that you knew before starting a business? And what
Uh-huh.
advice would you give to a person who wants to start their business, but they're kind of
Yeah.
scared to take that jump?
So number one thing I always tell myself is there's no tomorrow. Act like it's only today's the day. So execute. That is the main point. Like I know we have a lot of ideas, a lot of thoughts, especially when you're younger or older. You have different factors, family, relationships. So you're planning it in your head, but never happens. So first thing is just execute as soon as possible, because the faster you fail, the faster you're going to be able to correct those issues,
Mm,
and the faster your business will be successful. So those are things that you need to make happen. Just get rolling. Get into the business, start that business, whatever it takes to get that business started, make it happen. And I guess another advice to especially younger crowd is education. You know, spend money on yourself on getting educated, like self education. Um, don't listen to people who say like, oh, I don't want to waste money on this course or that course. I'm not telling you to spend like $50,000 on one course. I'm like, if it's minimal amount of money, spend it so you can understand. Even if that course didn't teach you anything, you had you're creating, I guess, a risk tolerance for yourself, for your business as well. Oh, you made the risk of investing in a course. Yeah, it probably didn't get you the return you wanted, but now you understand the process of investing in yourself.
mhm.
So that's one important thing.
Okay, so there's something you said right there that I actually want to talk a little bit more about. It's
Uh,
failing, right?
yeah,
Because everybody sees failure as this bad thing. Because obviously, I think that goes back to school. You fail, you get a
yeah,
bad grade. You start thinking you're not that smart, or school kind of punishes you for failing. Which
yeah,
in life, like that's the best way. You said, as you learn, you have to keep failing. You have to
yeah,
move forward. You have to learn from it.
yeah.
So when it comes to failure, like, what is your advice? Just, you said, just keep going through it, just keep learning, just take what you learned from that mistake and then apply it to learning how to move forward in a better, more enlightened way, right?
Yeah. So I would say the best word is fail forward. Like
Mm,
as long as you're failing forward, you're good. You're learning through the experience, you're fixing your mistakes. But if you're failing and staying in the same spot, that means you're not fixing your mistakes, or you're not aware of your mistakes, where you're making mistakes. So I would
mhm,
say always be aware of where you make your mistakes. Analyze what you're doing on a day to day. Analyze your profits, your expenses, all parts of the business. You want to analyze everything that goes in and out so you understand. So that is very important. As long as you're fixing your mistakes, you'll always move forward. And I'm not saying then you're done. You're going to have more failures to come. And the more failures that happen quicker, the faster your business will grow. So, be ready for failing on a daily basis. Like I was just telling you earlier, like, man, I'm addicted to failing, because I want to fail as many times so I can better myself, make my business better, make myself better as a person. So that's what I look forward to every day.
mm. So if someone wants to get involved in real estate investing, where should they start from, and what are some things they should know, especially about the difficulty of it wise before they begin real estate investing? Like,
Mhm.
talk about the benefits too of real estate investing as well for the people who don't know what that might be.
Yeah. So real estate investing is, I would say, the best type of investment class because it's a tangible asset, first of all. So your money won't ever disappear as long as you're analyzing the deal at a, even if you're someone new, you'll know how much you're buying it for, how much you got to put into it, and how much you can sell for. It's just basic math, right? As long as you just follow those rules, it's gonna be the best type of investing. Especially if you go into like rentals, like a rental, having a rental home or apartment complex, anything that creates passive income is the best type of investment, I would say. Is that you're creating a legacy. I don't want to go too deep into the rental side of real estate, but say for example, I have a 6 unit apartment complex, right? It's a small apartment complex, nothing too crazy, nothing that no one can afford. Say I bought one for just recently. Actually, I bought it was a 5 unit. Sorry, it was a 5 unit complex. I bought it for $211,000 over here in Fifth Ward of Houston, Texas. Not the best areas, but it produces a lot of income. It produced good income, and that's what you look at. You look at numbers. You're not trying to move in yourself, so don't look at like the cosmetic appeal to the building. Look at, okay, is it bringing in good income? Are the tenants comfortable? Are they paying on time? If that's so, you're in a good spot. So that deal I was talking about, I bought it for 211. I had to put about $70,000 into upgrades. They needed new windows, some new plumbing, some repairs on the roof. So I put in a good amount of money to just get it up to par. And I got the rents to increase about $30 a door. And just because of that small increase, I was able to go back to the bank and refinance at a $480,000. So I was able to pull back all my capital that I injected and some more. And now my complex is still cash flowing. So I have now the money that I need to buy the second apartment, and it's still cash flowing. So think about if you do this 10 times, now you're just creating passive income over and over again. So after a certain point, if you're making say 10, 15, $20,000 a month, you're pretty much financially free. You wouldn't have to work for someone, you won't have to do anything. And I mean, sky's the limit. You can have 1,000, 5,000 units of rental properties and be a multi-millionaire in rental properties.
Hmm.
So there's a lot of options, and number one thing I've learned is education. So just learn the process. Go learn from people who've done it over and over again. And I wouldn't say just go to one person, go to multiple people. Everyone has a different strategy because real estate is all about creative financing. It's all your own script. So you can take for a little bit from here, from there, and put it together and create your own script. So that's one thing I would point out.
So one thing I like about today in this information age, with all the technology advancements that we've had, is there
Yeah.
there are so many ways to make money, especially online. Obviously a lot of people
Yeah.
are moving more towards online. So one things that I did when I first started, I guess I don't know if you want to call it real estate investing, but what do
Uh-huh.
you think about Airbnb? Because that's a popular option as well. Like
Yes.
about 5 years ago, when I first moved here to Las Vegas, that's pretty much what I did, and it paid for pretty much all the rent because I started seeing like people renting out space in their kitchen, just for
Yeah.
somebody to come over and spend the night here in
Yeah.
Vegas.
Yeah.
So
That's freaking crazy. That's
what do you think
awesome. Yeah. I
about Airbnb? Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask.
So my intake on Airbnb. So I have some Airbnbs as well over here in Galveston, Texas. So depending on your location, what attraction you have in your areas, it's an amazing investment. So again, it's all about the numbers, right, and the target market in that area. So if
Mhm.
you have that target market you're looking for and it can cash flow, then that's all you're looking for. Investment Real estate investments is all about how you can make cash flow and it's leveraging the right capital needed. So
Mhm.
pretty much anything is a good investment. I mean, I know people who like you said right now, kitchens have basements. They make even the houses they live in, they had a guest bedroom, they'll freaking rent it out for a weekend or two, make some cash flow. So there's sky's the limit in real estate. You can kind of figure out a way to make cash flow any way you want in a real estate asset.
Yeah, and that's something I think I would advise for anybody who maybe wants to get like a little taste of what real estate investing might be.
Yeah.
Just if you have an extra space in your house, if you have a garage that you're not using, just be creative with it. Like, like we said, the kitchen space, people are actually
Yeah.
paying. They just put bunk beds in that, and then people stay in that. But other than that, so a lot of people they try to do things by themselves a lot of the times. So I
Hmm.
wanted you to talk about the importance of a team. Um,
Oh
how
yeah.
important is a good team for you, and what can they do for you, and how important is a team to your success?
So I would say my team, especially, I give them all the credit because without them, I'm a puzzle piece to the team, right? They're a puzzle piece to the team. Without the whole puzzle, you're not complete. So you need the right team in place. You need the right realtors, the right what do you call it? The construction crew. You need the financial background. So whatever your team consists of, whether it's real estate or a different type of business, you need a team to scale. And I know there's a lot of people who want to do it alone. Yeah, you can do it alone. I'm not saying there's nothing against doing it alone, but you're going to only go so far. If you want that freedom, if you want that scaling capabilities of moving faster, moving with a team of 10 people or 5 people is better than one. So I always recommend to all my people that, create a team, get a partner. Even having one business partner is a team itself too. You don't have to go big. I'm not talking about hiring employees and assistants. I'm just talking about get a partner, or get some few people that you can hire if you can afford hiring someone, and see where you can fill in the gaps. Because
Mhm.
some people might not have all the strength, and you might have find a partner whose strengths are different than yours. So putting a team like that together will just help you in the long run.
Mm. That's definitely a practical key to growing a business, I would say, right? Finding the right people to help you grow your business.
Yeah.
So are there any other practical advice to growing a business that you want to add into that?
Man, just growing a business in general is just keep educating yourself. I would say I put very a lot of my eggs into education because that's what taught me some of the strategies I know today. And it just helps you overall, like whether it's raising capital, if you want to sell someone something, having education on the product or having education in the field you're in is the most important thing. If you know what you're talking about, then people will come, people will buy your product, people will give you money. It's unlimited, sky's the limit at that point. You just want to know, you want to be the master, the expert in your field.
Mhm. Awesome. So, one of the last questions I did want to ask is, so for you specifically, and since you started business at 12, and you're only 26 now, and you've already done all this awesome stuff financially, what are your specific keys to success? Because I asked a few people this, and I get
Yeah.
different answers. There are some patterns, obviously, but I
Yeah.
wanted to see what your specific keys to success were.
I think mindset is number one. Having that positive mindset on a daily basis, because people don't understand how powerful your mind is. Just one thought of being negative can change the result of your day. So being completely positive. I know it takes practice. I'm not saying you're just going to automatically be positive. We're humans, so we're going to think negative here and there, but just practicing to be positive throughout the days, through every problem that you face, will change the results. So that's number one thing I would say. Second thing I would say is education. Again, I keep going back to education because it's important for you to learn at every stage in your career. No matter if you're like broke, no matter if you're a millionaire, billionaire, you want to continue learning. You want to better yourself, better your team, and continue scaling your business. And that's the only way that's going to happen. So I'll put education number two, and then number three is having the confidence and motivation constantly. So just keep building your confidence, because when someone sees you confident about your business, whether it's your own employees or a customer or an investor, they want to see the confidence in you.
Mhm.
If they don't see that, they're not gonna feel comfortable. They're like, I don't know, this guy's kind of hesitant. No, they want to feel like, oh, this guy, he's ready. He's ready to roll. He's ready to keep going. So they want to feel that energy. So
Mhm.
stay confident. And yeah, I would say those three are my main points.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Yeah.
What about other ambitious friends, right? I think that would be a good one. Like,
Yeah.
I
Oh
feel
yeah,
like,
actually that's a good point. Sorry
mhm,
not to cut you off, but
but
who you surround yourself with is very important. That plays a key part of your, business life. You want to surround yourself with the right people. So if you're surrounding yourself with friends who, don't want to do much in life or keep thinking negative, that's going to affect how you operate on a day to day.
mhm.
So surrounding yourself with a group of people who are motivated, confident, and doing good things in life or moving forward, you want to be surrounded by those people. So that way you kind of take on the same type of mentality.
Mhm. And the last thing would be the education point that you made. So I just want to put in there, you don't have to have thousands of dollars to get more educated, on taking all
Yeah.
these classes that from influencers that want to charge 3,000, 5,000, $10, $10,000, whatever it is. Like the majority of what I learned, honestly, I learned in the library. I learned on fucking YouTube or
Yeah.
podcasts. There's a lot of
Absolutely.
great podcasts out there, especially about
Yeah.
almost every topic.
Yeah.
Um, so, if you want to get more into stuff like business and real estate investing, all this other stuff, I would say do that. Also, find other people who are doing it. Growing your network is another good way, right? So, is that
Yeah.
one of the things that you
Absolutely.
did when
Yeah,
you
I
were?
mean, creating a network. Like I was fortunate. I came from entertainment, so my network just grew from being in the entertainment field. Like I had a lot of clientele, kept meeting new people on a daily basis. But even now, I put a lot of my priority on networking, creating new relationships. Like a lot of I travel quite often just to create new relationships across the country in different countries, because not just for making money, but those resources they could have or the impact you can make in their lives. So having that network and those connections will help you in business, life, and whatever you try to do.
And that's something I want to emphasize too, because I see a lot of our generation, they do seem a little bit more afraid to meet other people, talk to other people, get out there, do different things, go to different places. So what are some good ways to network, especially when you're first starting? Like I know like meetup.com is a pretty good one for me.
Yeah.
Toastmasters is obviously another good one.
Yeah,
What
yeah, those are good resources right there. And use meetups. Find your local. Say if you're in real estate, you want to network with other real estate investors. Go to every single event. Prioritize to go to like 2 or 3 events a week. And even though some of them you might not make create good relationships, but just get people's contact information. You never know at what point in your career that you'll actually use them. So just creating that good relationship. Try to help others. Don't always expect things
right.
from them.
Yeah.
Like just try to go out your way and help someone. I think that goes a long ways, and they'll appreciate that, and they'll remember that too later on in life. And you don't get a return on every connection you make. It's all about kind of helping others, and the more you help others, the more you're gonna get back in the future. So
Mhm. So, we're about to start wrapping it up right now, but I wanted to ask: are there any books that you recommend for people, to develop their mindset, to get more educated about maybe personal development, any things like that, like books or anything?
honestly, when I started, well, I was 12 years old. I grew up in not liking reading books.
Mm,
So the first book I actually liked was The Secret.
really?
um
Mm,
yeah, The Secret. That's somehow got me connected, and that's when I understood that, look, it's all about like whatever your thoughts you're generating in your head are going to impact your results. And that's why I say like always stay positive. And that's why I've always, that book will be always number one, because that's what got me here today. Like that created a chain of different books I needed. um and I'm not saying there's not any better books. There's plenty of books out there that can teach you many different principles, but that one started it off for me. And I guess another book, or not even a book, it's an organization, Bigger Pockets. I mentioned this before. They helped me in real estate investing so much to where I learned pretty much everything from them. Like if you go on YouTube and type in Bigger Pockets, they have a bunch of videos on real estate investing, how to flip a house, how to analyze a deal. So that's a good tip from them.
mhm. All right, awesome, man. So, is there anything else that you would like to add to it, or anything else you want to say or talk about to people of our generation that maybe they're starting from the bottom, or even people who have made it already to a certain place in, financially or in their life where they are set.
Yeah.
Is there anything you
Yeah.
want to add to that?
So one more book I wanted to add to that list was Go Getter. Go Getter is a book that for the people who I guess are coming from a lifestyle or coming from an age where they're more relaxed and they want to execute. Um, that is a book where it'll teach you how to make it happen, execute and make it happen today. Don't wait till tomorrow. So I would definitely go and let me actually, I forgot the author's name. It's been a while since I read it, but I just remembered that um, it, his name is by Peter Kane, The Go Getter by Peter Kane. I've read this many times when I was first starting my business, and that really helped me stay motivated. So like I said, like this continue reading books is one key factor. Just making yourself learn, just learning from different mentors and courses and any resource you can possibly get. Just learn. Try to get one item per resource, and you'll be good. As long as you continue staying learning and educating yourself. So, I mean, just to wrap this up, I would say just don't stop. There's going to be a lot of obstacles that come your way, but you got to keep pushing through it. There's always going to be a solution out there. So no matter what problem you have, just keep pushing through there. Keep the big vision, create a vision board, have your goals on paper, write them on a daily basis. All that is very important. Writing down when you wake up or going to sleep and envisioning what your goals are is going to change your life. So if you do that on a daily basis, that's gonna really make a big impact.
Awesome, man. Well, other than that, that's it. Hope everybody else liked this episode. And where can people follow you at if they want to, look at what you're doing? What if they want to invest with you, whatever it is. Where can people find you at?
Yeah. So on Instagram, my hashtag is Pratt's Empire, PRATSMPIRE. Um, that's my hashtag. They can message me. I'll give you my email address too if anyone wants to email me. They can reach out if you have any questions on how to get into real estate or have any questions on the actual investing side. If you have capital, want to invest with me, please feel free to message me. Love to meet all everyone. I'm here to make connections and relationships as well. So I'm looking forward to connecting with everyone.
Awesome, man. Well, I just want to thank you very much for coming on this episode.
Yeah,
It's been a pleasure, man. And I hope everybody who
no,
is
appreciate
listening,
it. Yeah,
yeah, I hope everybody is listening gets a lot of value from this. And I know you're busy, so I'm going to let you go and I'm going to get back to work editing this stuff.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
all right, everybody.
absolutely. Thanks.
All right, take care, everybody.